While it's almost impossible to verify whether Dan Burrish is a real whistleblower and telling the truth, let's go back to Matthew Brown's witness testimony on X. He said the name Schellenberger. Schellenberger is a journalist who has covered the UAP topic and was mentioned directly by the Pentagon whistleblower Matthew Brown. And in 2024, November 13th, this is an actual testimony that was given by Schellenberger and others to the United States Department of Defense and the intelligence community. There's his name, Michael Schellenberger, and there is the specific topic of this conversation: unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, and exposing the truth. This is an official government website, and it covers many things that Dan Burrish talks about in his witness testimony, including the claims of Project Looking Glass. So this seems to be a valid piece of evidence, and it even talks about where they believe the gray aliens come from, approximately 45,000 years from the future. It mentions that Burrish also talks about Project Lotus. And what I could find about Project Lotus is that it is a secret name for the vast network of deep underground military bases, including Area 51 and other underground networks of systems and bases underneath the Nevada desert and across the United States. This document has a lot of fascinating information and credible people mentioned in his witness testimony on November 13th, 2024. So as we take a moment before we get into Burrish's testimony, we have to take a look at this document, and I will provide the links to go and look for it and go through it yourself in the description box down below.
That's why, in fact, they built 9 hangars on the Galileo and Sidekick levels. The 4.1 level. The 4.2 level contained the Looking Glass, Alice's glass. In fact, outside of the door for the major facility, there's a white rabbit with a clock. A very large, it's a statue that's probably about that tall, and it's held above the doorway. It's wired above the doorway. The Looking Glass, I find out, is one of the ERBs. It's an Einstein-Rosenbridge promoter. It uses some form of, this is found out, Jesus Christ, in the last 2 weeks. Like asking the right questions there, I guess. It's composed of a spherical, spinning, arced, rectangular solid matrix of nickel, cadmium, and barium. There is a spinning disk underneath it, which is supercooled. Into this is injected into the center of these spinning. I'm not a physicist. Spinning disks is injected an argon gas. Into that is injected some type of repulsion matter. It's a gravity repulsion matter. They are obtaining the gravity repulsion matter from the heavy materials that have been obtained from the J-rods, the 115 variety material. And apparently when they bombard it with enough electromagnetism, this stuff repels gravity and it turns into some sort of exotic matter. They spin it fast enough, it opens, or they can see through it. And that is, from what I understand, the great prize in what's going on in the world right now, are those devices. Why do you think the British are running around Iraq right now looking for climatological records that are just happen to be disappeared out of the Baghdad Museum with the rest of the cylinder seals? And you're going to see some cylinder seals today too when I show you some report.
So Dan, does that mean when they're engaging this device in Project Looking Glass?
Yes.
Is this something that they use only for the transmission of information, or can they transport a material object through time?
You know the answer to that. At least you probably heard some rumor. There have been mistakes. There were mistakes. Animals were attempted to transport from one location to another, the production of 2 of the devices, and they put them in resonance or something like that. I'm not a physicist. I don't know. But I was, in fact, present during a human attempt. The human did not survive. The human was not put in there under duress of any sort. It was a volunteer situation, and the human did not survive. The human did not move. The human stayed where the human was put. But the human changed, and I don't want to talk about it anymore.
This was an attempt at time travel?
It was an attempt at well, In essence, yes, it was a linear. It was a attempt to transport an individual over linear distance, which I understand is the same thing as time travel. If we're talking purely from the Einstein,
Translating time, space.
distance is time.
Like a transport.
Yeah. From what I understand, they've only used it for information purposes. Aside from that, how they get the information out of it, no clue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what specific information they've obtained. I only know one piece of information, and that is the rush. Why the rush is underway to get Lotus done by the 2005 deadline. That in fact this group of J-Rods that are not complying with the wishes of the committee and the wishes of the rest of the J-Rods and the associated brothers, to put a clamp on them so that they stop their influence within the political structures of our government, including the financial structures. That it is in fact their slowing down of the progress to stopping getting these, picking up these little gates that were put together. That would be our downfall in 2012.